This has been my Montreal Orc Conference. Let's talk about Orc Conference Day 2. It was chicken plucking, okay, eyebrow plucking, person plucking out of the air. If you're flying a dragon and you need to pluck people out of the air, uh, a lot of people will just let the dragon decide, but there are subtle things you can do to, like, if you make the dragon believe that it's their idea, then you can get a lot of stuff done. I'm not an expert on it, so I took a workshop, and it's basically like you can't tell the dragon what to do, but you can present the dragon with the facts at hand. Okay, dragons can be quite reasonable, and so if you present the dragon with the facts, the pros and cons of lifting up certain people out of the air with their talons, and then letting the dragon decide. At a certain point, you got to be laissez-faire, okay, and then just let the dragon do what the dragon will do. But there are ways to subtly influence the beast, okay. Or conference day 2, coffee tapping. Coffee tapping is when you take the coffee bean fruit and you tap, tap, tap. Okay, because like a lot of like coffee is orcs love it. Okay, I don't know if you know this, but orcs love coffee because we don't generally eat. I mean, we will eat carrion. We'll scavenge. I like milk and eggs and cheeses, very soft. And no, you know what? I'm not a huge fan of soft cheeses. There was a soft cheese workshop in like how to differentiate soft cheeses, and that was in the orc workshop. So the orc workshop was some dragon training. As I said, it's not quite training, but it's dragon suggestion. Soft cheeses, coffee knocking. That was one. Then there was a basic broadsword. There was foil skills. There was axe, which I didn't take. Um, there was magic, uh, cloaks and different fashions, and uh, uh, knives and sticks. Okay, that was just day 2. It's chock a block with great orc workshops. Okay, uh, I don't understand a lot of the orc language here, so I got yelled at, and so then I've been afraid to eat because in order to interact with people, you have to speak to them, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm just stealing boiled eggs from the continental breakfast, putting them in my pocket with the little cheeses, with the cheese strings, and I've just been like munching that all day on Diet Pepsis, free Diet Pepsis, because orcs love Diet Pepsi. Okay, orcs love coffee, Diet Pepsi, carrion, meats and cheeses. Okay, there's not a lot of fruit. I might get scurvy. Okay, so it's a good thing I'm going home today. Okay, so I can suck on a lemon. Orcs generally don't like lemons. Did you know that? Yeah, because it gets in the cracks of their face and stings. Um, that's just how it is. It's been a long time, getting from there to here. It's been a long time, but my time is finally here, okay? And I'm ready to go home. Orc Conference 2026. We went to the Orc Museum last night after the conference was over for the day. And I saw a giant sculpture that was carved out of a single whale bone. And that reminded me of the time I was swallowed by a whale. And a lot of those faces, I believe, were the souls of those who had been swallowed, etched into the whalebone as if the artist could sense and know the pain of those people, which was, wowee, how did you do that? Okay? There's also like fortune telling, tarot, and those like sticks that wah wah, but I can't do those. It's funny, for someone who's interested in stuff like that, it never happens to me. Kind of like UFOs. Like I'll never see one. And honestly, I don't want to because if you start seeing them, then you start inviting that into your life, And then next thing you know, your kids are like, "There's an owl at the window," and you're like, "Oh shit." So just keep your eyes forward. Keep your eyes to the look at the floor. Look at the floor. Don't look at them in the face. Okay. Don't look at them in the face. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, we went to the Orc Museum, and there was the whalebone sculpture with the captured souls of the many things that the beast had eaten at the time. There was dancing music notes. There was a wall full of light bulbs, which I really liked. There was an orange and black. There was a big square orange and a big rectangle black, and they were both side by side. Two taste great that taste great together. Okay, orange and black. And then there was also some pictures of people making a sword, which I kind of dug. And there was a fairy ring full of silver mushrooms, which, those fairies, you gotta be careful with those little teeth. Okay, they'll bite. Okay, so that's fine. Don't look at fairies too much on IG, because the next thing you know, your search feed is just full of fairies, and then your partner's like, "Why are you looking at all these pictures of fairies for?" And I'll be like, I don't know." So it keeps track of what you look at, and so just know that, because sometimes you forget, or you don't, you think it's not really true. You're like, "Oh, it can't possibly be as oh yeah, no, it is true. It totally knows what you're looking at all the time." So be aware of that for what it's worth. And Orc Conference 2026, it's been a great time. But I'm ready to go home. I miss my children, you know. I was supposed to write down everything that I did on a piece of cardboard. I think that's what I was supposed to do. But classic fashion, I'm going to be doing a lot of my homework on the airplane. All right. But I did buy some choco, because chocolate, dark chocolate, you'd think an orc would like, but it's actually, and milk chocolate you think an orc would like, but it's too sweet. It's sickly sweet in the mouth, and being as that the teeth brushing can sometimes be an issue, you don't want to have too much of that refined sugar in your mouth at any one time, because you need those teeth to chew the carrion and gristle and fat. Okay? Unless you're vegetarian, then you need the teeth to chew the soft cheeses. Well, that doesn't make much of a sense, because a soft cheese you can just kind of gum. You can gum up those soft cheeses. Um, the hard cheeses are my favorite. Okay? They're my favorite. And there was also a poutine bar. So, in summary, Orc Conference 2026, it taught me a lot about what I needed to know later. And then some of the great workshops taught me what I needed to know at the time, like knife sharpening. Like, they're like, "You got to keep your knife sharp." Or, do you want to go to the conference where they're like, "Remember, you're going to have to keep your knives sharp"? Or do you want to go to the conference where they say, "Keep your knife sharp, and here's how you do it. Let's sharpen some knives right now"? Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference what I'm telling you? So that's a difference between a great orc workshop and just a good one, because the dragons, for example, you're like, well, you're gonna have to we couldn't really practice because they couldn't fit a dragon in the conference hall. They couldn't pay a dragon enough to be in the conference hall. What happened was they got one, but then it took all the valuables and went into the basement and lied on top of them. So it's tough. Dragons just do what they're gonna do, and you can guide and suggest, like I said, but you can't really make them drink. Or Conference 2026, a great success. I learned a lot of stuff. As I think of more of the learnings from Orc Conference 2026, I will partake. I will relate to you at some other time.